Hey guys, it's Erik from Farpoint Farms. I thought I'd take a little bit here to show off Carl. Carl is my 1974 Super Beetle. I've had it for a little over a year now, and unfortunately I'm thinking about selling it, but I haven't firmly decided yet. Anyway, as you can tell, Carl has been pretty well kept up with and been restored. The body was restored by the previous owner, and the mechanicals were restored by me over the winter. When I'm not busy working on the farm during those winter months when you really can't do anything, I spend my time working with cars. I usually flip a car every other year. Anyway, here she is. I know, a girl named Carl, right? Pretty weird. That's a good car. It's got some CP1 mag rims on it, some Firestone tires, and a beautiful paint job on there with a clear coat. Stock exhaust, stock 1600 dual port engine. Of course, everything works. Door locks work, windows work. Seats have been replaced with upgraded sport seats. I'll show you those here in a little bit. Hell, the heat even works in this thing, which is kind of a rarity. Rust wise, she's about 99%. Pretty hard to find something on the East Coast that's rust free. And this one isn't rust-free, but it's pretty much rust-free. It's had some work done on the passenger side pan, but other than that, the bulkheads are good. Shock towers are good. The pan head, which is kind of a weak spot on Super Beetles, it's good. And it gets up and goes. All 48 horsepower. It's a pretty impressive automobile, right? This was top in line in 1974. This Super Beetle does have the curved windshield. It was 73 and 74 only, I believe. Has the better front end suspension, the struts instead of shocks. Gives a much better ride here in the mountains. And it does pretty good. Some of the steeper hills, you know, you have to downshift, but it's not so bad. The disc brakes are an upgrade. Originally, of course, these Beetles came with drums all the way around, but I upgraded those to disc brakes over the winter, and the stopping is way better. It's got lowering coils and springs on it, but I've got it raised up pretty much to stock height. So let's take a look inside and we'll fire it up. As you can see, it's got upgraded seats in the front. They're pretty damn comfortable, really. It's got a Grant GT steering wheel. And it got a dash pad on there, but I haven't finished putting that down. It does have the original Super Beetle rubber mats, which is kind of cool. And it's, like I said, it's a pretty decent little car. Got the vent windows, the little pop-outs. Replaced the e-brake cables over the winter, so they're working. It's got a pretty cool custom stereo in there. Somebody put a Pioneer in it with a USB stick. So, got that, and in the back here, they made a custom rear shelf. So they put some speakers and subwoofers in there, so it's really kind of loud. But the wipers work. The only thing that doesn't work from the factory is the horn. Whoever installed the Grant steering wheel never hooked it back up. But the speedometer works. Odometer works. Says it has 89,000, but I imagine it's probably 189. Be pretty unusual to find one with less than 100,000 miles after 40 years. I upgraded the fuses to German fuses, copper fuses, so they're in good shape. Glove box works. The hood release works in there. Nice car. Let's fire this thing up. One of the few modifications I made to it was to add a cigarette lighter here. It's lighted. It also works. Messing up here, but it's got this kind of cheap aftermarket center console. I did put new shifter bushings in it, new e-brake cables, because this thing was sloppy. Now it's nice and tight. You can find the gears. Put a new cable in for the hood release. So we'll hop out and take a look at the motor. You don't find too many of these, especially not in this kind of shape. There we go. Doubt you can hear me over the roar of all that horsepower. She runs good. Got an electronic upgraded electronic ignition. It's a stock carb that I just rebuilt. Got an aftermarket air filter on there. But I ran new German fuel lines from the front to the back. Took the tank out and cleaned it. And like I said before, the heat works. Pretty impressive for an old car like this. About 150 miles ago, I changed the oil, changed the strainer, adjusted the valves like you're supposed to do every 15K. You know, as a mechanic, I'm kind of a stickler for stuff like that. But it's a pretty sharp ride. You know, to each his own when it comes to classic cars. There's a lot of people out there that collect Corvettes, Camaros, GTOs, Chevelles, whatever, Mustangs. They're all great cars to collect. But I kind of wonder about all the cars that people are forgetting about. The Chevy Citations. You know, they made the X11. Not a very popular car, but somebody out there ought to try to save one or two of them. How about like a Toyota Corona? Yeah? How about a Cavalier? No one's going to care about a Cavalier in 50 years, I guess. Still, somebody ought to try to save one or two of them. Anyway, wanted to show this off. Like I said, I'm thinking about selling it. Probably ask somewhere right around $7,500 for it. Obviously, got a lot more than that into the restoration, but you never get what you got in them out of them. Any good restorer will know that. Unless you're doing it professionally, you got to do it because you love it. I'm Eric, owner of Farpoint Farms, and this is Carl, my 1974 Super Beetle. Hope you enjoyed a little tour of the past. Take care.